Good morning. It is Wednesday, October 13th, and I'm bringing you devotions from St. Paul Evangelical Lutheran Church. Have you ever thought about what it would take, or what it does take, for you to believe in Jesus, to have faith in God? Jesus was teaching his disciples, and he told a story about a rich man and a poor man named Lazarus, who used to live at his gate. Well, after they both died, the rich man went to hell, and Lazarus was in a different place, which we would expect to be heaven, but he was there with Abraham, the patriarch of the Israelite nation. And in the course of things, the rich man asked for Lazarus to come and wet his tongue because he was in torment in hell. And so he talked to Abraham, and that's the part that I'd like to read from Luke's Gospel, from chapter 16. He then said, "Father Abraham, I beg you to send Lazarus to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, that he may tell them, so that they will not come into this place of torment." And Abraham replied, "They have Moses and the prophets. They should listen to them." But he said, "No, Father Abraham, but if someone comes to them from the dead, they will repent." Abraham replied to him, "If they do not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be convinced if someone returns to them from the dead." Now, this is Jesus teaching. But there are several ideas here that I'd like to at least think about, have you think about. We know generally of Moses and the prophets, probably more about Moses than most of the prophets in this day and age, but we know something about them. But I think that, like the Israelites back in the day, it's more about the nation of Israel than it is about belief in God. So what is it that Abraham tells them? He says if he doesn't take it from Moses and the prophets, they probably won't take it from someone who raises from the dead. And yet here we are. We have a Christian religion that's based on the fact that Jesus rose from the dead. The fact that the central figure in our religion chose to accept death and then rose from that death is what makes the Christian religion so different from every other major religion in the world. So is that enough for us to believe? Now clearly the people that Jesus was talking to had not seen that yet because Jesus was talking to them. But it's incredulous to me that he could say that and not believe it. So let's go back and look. How long was it after Jesus rose that we see the beginnings of the Christian religion? You see in Jerusalem that some of the apostles, Jesus' own disciples who knew him better than anyone, took a while for them to see Jesus again and to believe. Now, I think they believed that he was the Son of God, but not that the resurrection part. Then we see Paul, who persecuted the church until Jesus revealed to him in his own person on the road to Damascus. And then for a long time, the church was persecuted because nobody wanted to give up what they had to believe in someone who raised him from the dead. And if you look today, polls would tell us that lots of people don't believe even today. And yet we have the example of Jesus raising from the dead. Now, polls are all good. They tell you lots of things. But when it comes right down to it, it is, what do we as individuals believe? And what does it take for us to believe? And then what happens because we believe? I believe Jesus rose from the dead. I believe that Jesus was the Son of God. It's important to me to try to think about that every day. I would like to say it's important for me to act that out at all times, but I don't get to that standard. But I do believe it at all times. And I think about it more and more as I grow older, because I think it is more pertinent now. It is closer to me now as I get closer to God. I hope that you feel the same way. I hope that as you go through your walk, you continue to believe, that you continue to work through your beliefs, that you continue to think what you believe in, because it seems to me very important that every day we think about God, we listen to God, and we fall back on those things which are the foundations of our belief. And for me, the biggest one, Jesus rose from the dead. I pray you'll think about that today. Good morning.